Pickle. I think I've got myself into a bit of a pickle, Lance. My brother Gordon is the only person outside the world of P.G. Wodehouse who could get himself into a bit of a pickle. He had been playing away from home and needed a couple of days to sort everything out, as he put it. I didn't rate his chances very highly. The thing is, Lance, I need a bit of a favour. Yes, I said cautiously. You see, I can't be seen to be away from work. I've run out of sick leave, and in any case Miriam, that's Gordon's wife, can't know that I am away. Although we're not identical, or even twins, we do look sufficiently alike to be mistaken for each other. How can I help? That's very good of you. Well, it certainly was. I need you to stand in for me for a couple of days, max. Miriam? I began. Well, I think you could say you've had a touch of that bug that's going around which gives you a sore throat, so you'll be sleeping in the spare room to save her getting it, if you see what I mean. We discussed this for some time, but in the end I went along with it. Gordon trained as a teacher, hard to believe, but he did, at the same college of education as I attended. He emailed me all his lesson plans, and we agreed that I would take over from him on Monday, while he went off to sort out his dilemma. Lady Bugh High School has 1,600 pupils and about 150 staff. I gave the staff room a miss and went to Gordon's form room on the first floor in D block, room number 110. I got there all right, and it said Mr. Bates on the door for confirmation. There was a teacher in occupation with the Year 7 class. He stood up and walked over to me peevishly. Gordon, you've forgotten already that we agreed to swap rooms for registration this morning? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Which room am I class in? Well, mine, of course. When I continued to look vague, he pointed across the corridor to his room. Gordon, have you been overworking? He asked. Your voice really sounds bad. It's that sore throat virus. I didn't realise it rotted the brain too. I went to register a form I had never seen before. Adamson, I said confidently, are you going to do the register today? The child known as Adamson made this unexpected inquiry. You usually just look round the room and fill the ticks in, he explained. You can fill the ticks in, I said, handing him the register. Are you allowed to do that? Well, of course I'm not, but it was Gordon's problem, not mine. I had a maths class back in my own room. Now you try teaching class when you don't know their names. No, worse. Try it with the class who think you do know their names. Were you called Master Bates when you were at school, sir? Nobody's ever asked me that one before. I see the beauty and elegance of quadratic equations are lost on you. One or two laughed in a world-weary sort of way. Clearly my brother has been stealing my jokes as well. However, there were no more cheeky questions. I saw from Gordon's notes that the next class was 9K2, a challenging one. Now, a way to master the problem of long division is to sit in the back row and make farting noises. Well, this was the tactic of a young man I found out who was called Elliot. Will you send Elliot to the sin bin? One asked. From their air of anticipation, I guessed that Elliot usually made a fuss about this. Instead, I talked him through the content of the lesson. The others were listening. By the end of the lesson, he said, I quite like the sin bin, you know. I was overwhelmed by his gratitude. I had tuna sandwiches in room 110 for lunch, settled down to the Guardian crossword and Araucaria. 5 down was tennis match without score can lead to romance. 4-6. I thought of Gordon's bit of a pickle and filled in love affair. The next period was a free period. I meant to go to the staff room to check if I had a cover lesson. What are you doing, Gordon? I'm checking on if I'm on cover. Surely to goodness you know the cover supervisors do all that crap these days, he added. I exited the staff room as soon as was reasonable and went for a stroll. The last lesson was in the computer room. The lesson was already online, so there was no marking for me, and plenty for Gordon, as the pupils worked their way through his lesson on the computer. Now I could see their screens on a master screen at the front of the room. Usefully, the name of the pupil also appeared. I found one called Rabbits was flipping between the lesson and a chat room. "Is old Bates shagging Miss Honeyball?" Rabbits didn't know, and I arranged to have a little word with him after the lesson. Gerald Honeyball was another member of staff, and if the rumour was true, then clearly Gordon wasn't playing very far away from home. The day ended. I had succeeded in outfoxing the pupils, but arousing the suspicions of 2 members of staff. Their likely suspicion was that old Bates was losing his marbles. I couldn't deceive Miriam, but that didn't bother me. When I got to Gordon's home, Miriam was ready with 2 glasses of wine and an open invitation. Gordon wasn't the only one who was playing away. The end.